Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode here at Tribal Trades, the daily show coming at you from the great state of Florida. One hell of a drug. And today we're going to look at who is buying and who exactly is selling Bitcoin. This could help work out what the next direction may be if the bottom is in and if we're going to get to a new all-time high. Before we look at all of that, you know what I'm going to say next? Smash that like button. This does help get this channel out to more people and, of course, does help support the channel, as does all of your wonderful comments out there. All right, so let's first of all jump into where the whale closed their short position. Everybody had been following her in the Discord and here on X about this Bitcoin whale that had a short position. They did close it in profit, and they almost got liquidated. They did had to add margin to their position there, and so they managed to avoid liquidation, adding margin to their position, and then they were able to close in profit there. And then if we look at the long-term holders are the ones that are scooping up Bitcoin. Those who are long-term holders of Bitcoin scooped up an additional 167,000 Bitcoin in a month, stacking strong. Are you surprised that the people buying the Bitcoin are the long-term holders, which means the sellers are, drum roll, retail. Retail is panic selling the bottom, according to Mr. Crypto. Whales have been accumulating during the dips. Follow the smart money. Have you been accumulating during this downtrend? What have you been accumulating? What have you been buying? Or have you been selling or panic selling this dump here? I'd love to know your thoughts and why you think that, because maybe you think the bottom is not in yet, okay? Now, we do have ETFs finally broke their losing streak, 274 million in inflows, the first sign of demand returning after weeks of outflows. One green day doesn't make a trend, but it's a shift worth watching. So we could see that ease of selling go down, but we'll see what happens there with these ETF holders, whether they're going to continue. And maybe it was the retail ETF holders, because ETF holders, you or I, could hold the ETF, buy ETFs, and maybe it was a lot of the retail selling off, and maybe the institutions have held firm. I don't think we have data on that, unfortunately, with the ETFs, but it'd be very interesting to know who have been the sellers and who have been the buyers there. Okay, also, who else is acquiring Bitcoin? A total of 80 public companies have now added Bitcoin to their holdings. You can see a whole list of them there. You can go to Cointelegraph and get that full list there, and you can see who is buying and accumulating Bitcoin. So we know that long-term holders, we know the ETFs have been picking them up just recently, and of course we've got these public companies, and only retail is panic selling. Follow the smart money, people. I do not think the bull run is over. I do think it more looks like just that we have more like the April-May 2021 drop that came early. More on that in just a moment. So I like this from Rick Capital. It'll be worth watching the daily RSI downtrend for a breakout in the future. The downtrend has been a resistance on the RSI since November 2020. RSI downtrend break would likely precede a reversal to the upside, so we should keep an eye on the RSI on the daily there. We'll be keeping an eye on that. Thank you for Rick Capital for your amazing analysis there. And then more on Rick Capital. And this really just supports what I have been saying all along for many months now. You've heard me say this feels a lot like the April-May 2021. Why does it feel like that? Because I was there, I experienced it, and I bought that dip, and it paid off because obviously I was able to sell the pump in November of 2021. So back in June 2021, price was consolidating between the 21-week EMA and the 50-week EMA after a crash. Right now, Bitcoin is consolidating between the same EMAs after a crash. By the way, Bitcoin indeed broke out from this triangle by late July 2021 to reach new all-time highs in November 2021. This could take some time. So we see that the markets that dropped in January, we're in March. So if we equate that to April, May, June, it's been 2 months. So 2 months, 2 months, okay? We're not quite yet to the 20th of January when Bitcoin has been dropping down from. And then from June to July, we saw a sideways consolidation, and then we started to see it break out in July of 2021. So there was a whole month of sideways chop, people saying that the bull run was over, we're going into a bear market, etc. Very similar to what we're seeing right now, okay? So if we go to the charts, let's go and check out the charts here. And if we have a look, and one of the things that I think is happening, by the way, is you can see this VPVR here over on the right side. This is the volume profile. And I did say, and I warned everybody, that if we lost this 90,000 level, we just didn't have the volume and we would go down. Now, there was a lot less volume here, by the way. Obviously, now there is more volume because we've now spent a good 2 or 3 weeks down in this area. But you can see there's not a lot of volume down to 70K. And so it would be good for healthy market structure because all we had was this. We just had the straight up, and then we filled in that 90 to 100K area pretty solidly for a few months there, and then we've now been steadily coming down. But we found this area of support, and this is what Rec Capital was saying, the 20 EMA consolidating between the 20 EMA and the 50 EMA there over here. And so now we are consolidating between those two, here and here. We're finding this very much as resistance, and we're finding the other very much as support. And so you can see that here, this is our support and this is our resistance. Our resistance is up at 90. Our support currently is down at about 77 where that is. Now remember the 50-week moving average, when we've had a full body candle, weekly candle close, open and close below that, has usually signaled the end of the bull market, okay? So very important to note that that's our big warning sign right there. Now we can come down and connect to that. We could even have a close below it, but not an open below it. We could have multiple closes below it like we saw in April and May and June of 2021. That's normal. Okay, so I think that this here, we still could come a little bit lower. We could still come and tag this 73 zone here. Look, I would be surprised if we didn't come into this area right here. We rejected again off the 200-day moving average. And someone did say in the Discord yesterday, yes, the more that this gets tested, the better. And we can actually flip this upside down and pretend that, is it more likely? Let's go to invert scale here. And you can actually see we've tested this to the downside or upside 1, 2, 3 times there. You saw how it didn't take long to actually break through it, but now we're doing it the other way. And so we'll see what happens. This is a very hot zone here, right around the 200-day moving average and the 200 EMA on the day. We've only even got up to test that once. We didn't actually even get there. I think we were rejected. Let's invert this back because I'm probably turning your heads upside down there. But as you can see, we didn't even quite get there to test the 200 EMA on the daily. So the 200-day moving average is our big resistance at the moment. We've got these wicks pushing down. What we want to see is we want to see these bodies closer. So that's quite bearish. So this one's right now a little closer. We'd like to see the body above. And what we want to see is we want to see these bodies close, like here. We want to see these bodies close. So we want to see these bodies get up close, and then that can help us push through the price. Right now, there's a lot of sell pressure from here at the 200-day moving average. So I'll be looking for either a daily or a weekly close, but what would be really ideal is to have a full body daily open and close above that, or a weekly open or close above that. Then I feel like, yeah, this will be our next target here, the 200 EMA on the daily. Now you can be shorting from here. So every time this hits here, if you short it, you could have shorted it down to, you could have shorted at least down to 83,100. We've been sharing that in the Discord. So if you do want to learn how to make money on the way down, not just on the way up, you can short responsibly. You can short with very low risk, even with 1x leverage, which is like a spot buy and sell, where you would to enter the position here at 84, and then you could sell it down here, for example, at 77, and you could sell it for profit on the way down. You could even go as low as 1x there. And we can teach you how to trade with leverage very responsibly. Of course, there are always risks, but that is something that you can learn how to do in the Discord. If you'd like more information about that, just in the description of this video, click the more button. You might need to click the more button to see that description, and you'll see the Discords there are available. The Tribal Trades Discord, where we have the Leverage Lounge full of leverage traders making money, helping each other, making money to the upside and importantly to the downside. And of course, we do regular live trading sessions and trainings on leverage there in the Tribal Trades Discord. If you'd like to join the Discord, you'll just need to get the email address that's in the description of this video to get access to the Discord. And then of course the Stocks with Josh Discord, there are links there below of my own Crown Traders channel in there, where I share educations and insights and resources, some of my trade setups, and we do some leverage training sessions in there as well where you can learn. And of course, we have entertainment, because I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is for education and entertainment purposes only. Are you not entertained? Okay. And so I hope to see you there in the Discord. The links are below in the description. And also, if you want to if you know how to use leverage and you need an exchange to do so, there are lots of exchange links below in the description there where you can sign up and get some nice bonuses. Okay, so the 200-day moving average, you could short this from here down to 80, 83, 100, or even lower here. You've got the Tribal Trades trend line sitting at about 80,800, and then you've got another Fibonacci of 79,700. The 50 EMA on the weekly is sitting at 77,200, and of course the 50-week moving average, not to be confused, is slowly rising at 75,800. Now remember, the 200-day moving average keeps going up. It's currently sitting at 84,230 odd, but it was sitting at 84,100, and the other day it was 83,800. And so this is slowly trending up, and the 200 EM on the daily is slowly coming down. This will curl, by the way. This will curl. The more price stays below it, it'll eventually curl around. We don't want that. You can see these have already curled down. So on those time frames, Bitcoin is bearish, but these here, we don't want to see curl over there. That would not be good for Bitcoin. And we definitely don't want to see the 20. We talked about the 20 and the 50, how it's trading between there. So that would be our resistance, and this is going to be our support right now. And if it gets up there, I would expect us to reject until it's time to break out. And I do think we are going to break out, unless, of course, we have that full weekly candle open and close before the 50-week moving average. Let's go to the follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. And you can see there is more to the downside on the shorter time frame, down there around 81,000, all the way down to 81,000, 82 to 81,000. There is a little bit up there at 84 and 85 there, so be careful there. If we switch to the weekly time frame, we have a lot of liquidity both above and below price, more below price, all the way down to $78,000. There's a 73 million, and to the upside to $85,000 there. So yes, again, I do think if I'm the market maker, I come down and I grab that liquidity to the downside before I send it, because liquidity is continuing to build to the upside. More and more people are going short from 85,000 all the way up to 100,000. There are huge quantities of liquidity there, as you can see, building up, but we do have to be careful. We do still have that liquidity to the downside. If you go to the 6-month time frame, you'll see what I'm talking about, the billions of dollars that are sitting there in liquidity around that 74, 73, 75,000. The market makers are going to come and get that. It's just whether they come and get it now, which I would expect they would do, because that's what I would do, or whether they come and get it in a bear market, okay? And then, of course, to the upside, we got billions of dollars up at 86 and 87,000, and then more at 95,000, more at 100,000, and then more billions and billions of dollars all the way up to 109. So we could come and get this 85 to 86,000 dollars first, because there are billions of dollars there. $4 billion at 85,900, and then maybe that gets everybody euphoric, and a lot of people start going long, and then more it gets liquidated down here at 73, 74, 75 before sending it. That's what I would probably do if I'm the market maker. Come up and get this 85 to 86, 87,000 of liquidity, send it down, to that 73, 74, and then send it up. That will be the final flush out before sending it up. And I expect that would all happen within the next month or two there for Bitcoin. All right, that's all we have time for today. Again, as always, thanks for tuning in. And until the next episode, or until I see you in the Discord, happy trading.